Hey guys, welcome back for another episode. So today is the last day of the radish challenge. So I'll just remind you we are growing 5 radishes in a 6-inch wide container. And I went for French breakfast, which is a 28-day variety, and today is 28th day of this grow. So let's just jump right into it. The first one up is going to be the kind of control here, and that's in a 6-inch net cup with some old commercial potting mix growing medium, and that was watered kind of in the standard way, either from the top or from the bottom to wake it up. And by the end of this challenge, I was pretty much watering that every single day. So here that is. You can see we do have some decent radishes. They're kind of this weird shape because they haven't fully swelled at the top. And yeah, they didn't really do too bad, I don't think. The only thing we fed both of these and the ones in the SIPs container you'll see in a second was 2 feedings of a light solution of fish and kelp, and then they also got 1 spray, foliar spray of C90 just to get those minerals up. You know, for food that's kind of a critical thing. We want to keep the minerals in there and the nutrients, but as long as they're natural nutrients. So there's the regular watering one. It's just sitting in a gallon bucket just to prop it up for comparison. And wabam, there's the SIPs container. Look at that difference. Here's the one, by the way, that I transplanted. It was over here in the beginning. Go back to the first part of this series and you'll see me doing that. And you can see that one's actually, that had all that disturbance, it was really small, is actually larger than all of these in the control. And we have some huge ones here. I mean, look at that thing. So one incredible result with this SIPs container radish grow is that I had harvestable size radishes, so something maybe like that or like this, at 2 weeks in, and then quite large ones closer to this size for these 4 that are big at 3 weeks in. So being a 4-week variety, that's basically a reduction of 2 harvest days of 50 to 25%. So you can almost grow them in half the time in a SIPs container. So that's a pretty remarkable result. So let's take a look at this one underneath. And yeah, there you can see how fine the root hairs and the roots in general are for brassicas. That's generally true for all of them. Most of them have been bred from sea kale, which is a plant that's used to, you know, kind of rocky seaside cliffs. So it doesn't have a very large root system. It's very fine, and if we go out to the greenhouse and check that very large cabbage, you'd see the same exact thing. Almost looks like mold, mycelium of some sort of fungus, but it's definitely the roots. And again, brassicas are one of the few families that we grow as vegetable gardeners that do not make mycorrhizal relationships. Alright, so I'm sure you guys want to see me pull some of these up. Man, they're in there sturdy. And look at the soil here, actually. I don't know if you can see that, but that's basically just a solid mass of roots. Like, yeah, it's pretty cool. Nice. So you can see on radishes, basically what swells is just the hypocotyl and a little bit of the underground taproot part. And the hypocotyl is the stem bit below the cotyledons. So there's one of those. And there you can see the rest of the taproot there. nice. So there's that kind of slight whitening. Probably get a bit more of that if it's grown outside. These are kind of close to the... Alright, so I think that's the biggest one we have there. But yeah, quite large overall. And then this little guy, that was the transplant, but still harvestable size. Okay, so let's check the regularly irrigated ones. Okay, so look, these actually have a little bit more of that bleaching. That's interesting. And here's what kind of the stereotypical look of them should be for a French breakfast. Righty. Well, not that one. Maybe it just depends on how deep the seed is planted. I didn't plant these pretty deep, and outdoors you tend to plant things a bit deeper because the ground is rougher. Okay, so there's the control. So yeah, pretty clear difference here. Alright, so there they're all cleaned up. I took off the tops and the tails. And I went ahead and actually weighed these. And regular watering control here on the left came in at 64 grams of kind of the usable weight. And actually the largest one out of the SIPs container itself was just over 50 grams. And the total weight here was 172 grams. So almost 3 times as much in the SIPs container. And again, we could have harvested them about a week or even 2 weeks before this. The one thing I'm kind of worried about the SIPs container ones is that having grown so long and gotten so large, the problem with radishes is they can go woody. So they're really best grown very vigorously and quickly as possible and harvested kind of young. So we'll check that here actually in a second. So I'm just going to take the largest one from both of these. So let's check this one here. Okay, so it feels good just cutting it, so it doesn't look woody, or sometimes they'll also have kind of hollow pithy areas. That's because of underwatering or irregular watering. You can see that's a very nice shine to the flesh there. So I'm just going to try a piece here. Yeah, very mild. Also, when they are grown without enough water, or it's too hot, or they started to bolt to go to seed, they start to get very bitter. But these are just a little bit bitter on the back end, but quite nice. And it's all kind of variety dependent. Nice and juicy and sweet. Alright, well, let's try this ginormous one. Kind of worried about cutting it even. Well, feels good. So you can see it's just a very early start of that white pithiness stuff starting to spread up. But I don't know. Let's try it. Just good. A little hotter, just like I expected. A bit more mature. See a little bit more pigmentation actually developing on the inside there. A little bit of fiber. You can see the skin getting a little bit thicker as well. But, I mean, what do you expect? We should have harvested them a week ago. Still perfectly edible. So there you go. Let me know what you guys think of this radish challenge, or if you want to take it yourself, that would be great. If you're on IG, definitely tag me. on that and see what you can do. If you had 28 SIPs containers, I guess you could have a set of radishes like this every single day. So I've cut up another one of the SIPs container ones, and you can see that this one has quite less of that pithiness. Let's check another one of these. I'm going to be eating radishes all night long here. Yep, perfectly fine, even at this kind of overgrown size. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Keep on growing.